Alrighty, SickMotion here with my usual patch note overview opinionated essay in video words thing. Alright, we'll just get right into it because there's a lot of kind of cool champion changes, somewhat feeling nerfy, maybe buffy. I don't know, I haven't tried any of them yet. They fixed the bug where Azir's turrets were actually giving turret count in spectator mode. Nothing's really changed. It was just a visual bug. Janna's W has been nerfed, so it no longer gives her bonus movement speed, and allies will only get movement speed when walking towards her. It's more movement speed and a bigger range, and from that, Zephyr's actually been buffed to give Janna more of a passive movement speed. Um, but that kind of just coincides with Tailwind being removed from Janna. So it's the original 5% just been moved over, and then the 8% is now more for her allies, but only moving towards her. So it's kind of like reverse Sirach, I guess. She moves faster towards wounded allies. Now all allies move faster towards Janna. She has like a permanent captain enchant, I guess. Jarvan. Just some nerfs here. There's a bug where after knocking up or going to his flag, if you walked into him after he had finished the animation, you'd sometimes get knocked up. I've never actually experienced that, I don't think, but bug fix. And his flag no longer gives armor. Grants passive armor to Jarvan, but he has higher base armor now to kind of coincide with that, but it's not as much as he lost. Kalista, this one was kind of confusing for me. Kalista's basic attack wind up now speeds up at 100, not 100%, it speeds up at 66. Not entirely sure. It sounds like it's supposed to be a nerf. It just confused me too much. I'm not really going to comment on it. I hope it's a nerf. Screw Kalista. Kastan's Riftwalk got changed from 700 range to 450. That's pretty freaking low. But the mana cost also got reduced to 60 from 75, which doesn't seem like much, but that goes up exponentially. It goes 60, then 120, then 240, then 480. So I think it caps out around like 900 something now instead of the 1200. So a little bit easier, but I guess the same distance. You're going to have to probably spend more mana to get over the same distance as the old one would have gotten you over. Can still be used to jump the walls though, which is important. Cat got a new skin that looks, I don't know. I don't think she needed a new splash art, but she did. And big nerf to her, thankfully. Nerf to her without actually really changing anything. Instead of getting a kill or assist, she has to just do damage to the champion when dying. So she will get a kill or assist if she's done damage within 3 seconds, but just getting an assist now is no longer enough. But if she gets the kill, it's still going to do the same thing. But it's not going to make for those long drawn out Zhonya's, then the person dies 3 seconds later type assist resets. There's a bug where Glacial Path wasn't properly displaying, just in the middle of like terrain, or in the middle of the map, not just when you put it in terrain, I guess, but when you place it just like on the map where you would normally see it, it wasn't showing, so that's fixed. Here's the first major champion change. Mord's now more of like a tankier frontliner, which I think is cool. His mace now gets 75 increased range, so it's kind of like a Wukong Q. He gets more range for that. It costs less health. So that's just a direct buff. This is the really cool mechanic. His W can be cast on an ally, and he still gets it. So you should always be casting it on an ally that needs it anyway, because you'll get it anyway. The damage has been nerfed, the base damage, and the ability power by a little bit. But the health cost has gone down as well. And if you and the person that you cast a shield on, whoever has a shield with you, you will run at 60 movement speed faster towards each other, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool interaction there. But it doesn't deal double damage. You can't just like shield a buddy and then just gang bang someone with your buddy. It doesn't work like that. 80 Mordekaiser isn't a thing. You don't get 20% of the ability power and attack damage when you get an enslaved. You get an R, you get a clone, but you get 25% of their bonus health and 30% of their ability power. Since you want ability power pretty much anyway, he's seeming to seem more like a AP-ish frontliney tank. And enslaved champions no longer gain 75% of Mord's ability power, but they do gain 25, 50 to 100 attack damage as bonus. So if you get an enslaved AD carry and then give it 100 AD, that's scary. Just give it 2 BF swords on top of being your slave. Rengar's Bone Tooth Necklace, I don't know if it'll still be a thing or not, but the trophies just are a buff to him. So now you can change your trinket. You don't have to worry about losing stuff or other bugs associated with it being on your necklace. Syndra's E, the collision width of the Dark Spears has been increased, so I guess it's probably alright back to around normal. I haven't played her since then. I liked when she got nerfed because I didn't like playing Syndra or against her, and now it's back to where it was, so I'm sad. But apparently there was a lot of issues with it, and she was feeling kind of weaker. I still thought she was strong, but I didn't play her that much to realize how much that really changed. Second big champion change here, Veigar. His Q is now a skill shot that passes through the first target hit and stops at the second hit. So I'm wondering if that just is like a straight line pass through, kind of like a luck snare, or if it like I'm assuming it's like a luck snare, like almost exactly. But it has 200 more range, and its cooldown was increased slightly later on, but reduced early on, so it's just more effective for stacking. I'm wondering if both instances of it, if both Qs stack, or if both Qs kill something, sorry, if it'll get you 2 stacks. That'd be, I'm assuming it would. Like I said, I haven't played any of these champion changes. His W now costs less mana at higher ranks and has scaling cooldown reduction with level. The stun on Veigar costs less mana at higher ranks, has better cooldown scaling, and just lower cooldown at level 1 per level. Has an increased range, but now has a bit of a delay before it goes off. So you can't just no skill smack it on them if you were good enough with the indicator and just flash stun people. It was kind of turning into like flash tibsing people, but it's just a stun that does no damage. And the R has a reduced ability power ratio, but now costs basically no mana, doesn't go up in mana cost, and has a lower cooldown all across the board. So it'll be doing less damage. Support Veigar won't be as strong because a lot of it relied on that extra ability power ratio that you were taking from your opponent, but still strong, I think. Xerath's stun now caps out 0.5 seconds less because that was ridiculous, and I'm happy about that. Third champion change. There's been a lot of champion changes. Zilean got some base armor increase, base attack range decrease. No longer clocking people from sniper range, but attack frame sped up slightly. That's quality of life. Not actually attacking any faster, but you should be able to cancel your auto attacks faster, I'm assuming. So when you're going AD Zilean, you'll probably feel that quality of life change. The bombs have now turned into like a lobbing skill shot that if you get, they still will proc instantly if you get 2 bombs on the same person, but it'll also put a stun around that for 1.5 seconds around that person. They have a longer range from 700 range to 900, which is pretty crazy. But they don't automatically stick to people. You have to hit them. They land on the ground, and they have a damage radius and a stick radius. And if you, like I said, stick 2 bombs to the same target, you could stick it to a teammate so that you know they're not going to move and still stun all the enemies around. I think that's a cool interaction. They cost a lot less mana across the board. The cooldown has been reduced as well. Rewind no longer reduces Chrono Shift time, so it's not as strong. But Chrono Shift has gotten a hefty damage reduction. It was 3-minute cooldown just because of the interaction with Rewind. But now it's just 2 minutes, minute and a half, 1 minute at level 3, and with a lot of CDR that'll be a lot less. But the duration is 2 seconds less, so that kind of hurts as well. And the time warp here has also been changed. The duration is now 2.5 seconds at all levels, but the slow amount, I'm assuming that means speed amount as well, because you can cast it on an ally unless they took that out. It doesn't really say that specifically here. Cooldown was reduced by 5 seconds. The mana cost was reduced all across the board, but at max level, a 99% slow slash speed up, if that's available. Slowing your opponent for 99% for 2.5 seconds, you might as well just be stunning them. And if they're slowed by 99% for 2.5 seconds and you can't hit 2 time bombs, you suck. So you should be able to stun them. That's a pretty long, a 1.5 second stun and a 2.5 second basically immobilization. That's a 4 seconds of CC. That's dumb. I already thought about it, and I think it's even more dumb now that I just read it out. Spell shields now block damage properly on hit skills, like Gangplank's Q, Aurelia's Q, for example. 2 new splash arts. I think that just Strana splash art looks awful, but it is what it is. I don't play Tristana. I'm not that hurt. Changing jungle items, like if I switch from a Ranger's to a Chilling Smite before it's been enchanted, used to be free in the last patch. Now it's 255 gold. So that sucks, but oh well. Sweeping Lens tooltip got fixed. Apparently it was broken. Doran's shield wasn't properly blocking 8 single target spell damage. I didn't even realize it was supposed to do that. I don't know if that was in the tooltip. I thought it just blocked auto damage, but it's supposed to block single target spell damage as well. It's a Rise nerf. In case you ever see Rise ever again, you probably won't. 5 damage off Warrior. Kind of makes sense. Warrior was just stupidly efficient. The portal item that I won't say the first word because it's too annoying to say. Apparently have some AI adjustments to make it more reliable. Smite now has reduced range. It's went from 750 range from the center to the center of your hitbox to whatever you're smiting's hitbox to 500. So it's less 250 range, but it's from the edge of your hitbox to the edge of the opponent's hitbox. Jungle monsters, it says, will remain roughly the same because they have huge hitboxes, but for champions, that'll be about 175 range loss because Chilling Smite initiation was annoying. Revive has been removed from the game. Just all of a sudden, 5 years later, they're like, yeah, we don't need that. We're not going to talk about it. We're taking it out of the game, and that's that. Only time I ever really saw that was Revive Teleport Karthus, and I didn't even get to give it a send-off because I had no idea it was being removed. That's too sad. Relative team colors, they're just kind of changing it so that blue will always be your team, I think, and red will always be the enemy team. That's kind of just going to be confusing for me more than anything. There's new death animations for melee and caster minions. Awesomeness. Semi-locked camera. You can read into that if that's interests you. It sounds kind of more confusing to learn how to use than anything. I'll probably just stay the way it is. Drag scroll lock. Apparently you could activate it by pressing shift control and S. I think I did that a lot of times where my camera would just be permanently stuck somewhere and it was really annoying, and eventually I found like quick fixes for it, but now that's just not going to be a problem at all. So that's nice. It'll now show what your friends are actually queuing for, but won't just say in queue apparently. A bunch of bug fixes here. The biggest being Xin Zhao's Q, third strike, would occasionally not knock up opponents. That would feel pretty crappy if you're playing Xin. The rest are just... Oh, the other one. A bug that made unskinned wards large. Yeah, they were huge, and it was really weird, and I had no idea what was happening, but apparently it was a bug, and it's fixed now. And DJ Sona will be out next patch. Wow. I actually got through those really quickly. I was expecting them to take a lot longer with how many actual champion changes there were. I guess in review, I think Zilean's going to be stupid strong, even as a support, just ridiculously strong. You can even level up the W, not even go for damage, just try and get that 4-second stun, because 99% slow, you're basically stunned, but you can still fight back. You're basically just being tied up in gang beat rather than tied up, knocked out in gang beat. So that's pretty strong. Mord looks kind of cool. Still suffers from the lack of CC. I think like Rylai's Gunblade tank Mord would still be fun to play. I might try and dibble-dally with that a little bit. Maybe Frozen Mallet because he gets increased range on the Q. I don't know. I think Mord had to step in the right direction after the Deathfire being removed. I think that change is kind of cool. And then the Veigar might actually see a little bit of play, more so in the mid lane. With if he can double stack his Q, he'll be able to get a lot of AP a lot faster if you're able to set up the minion waves properly. But could also be stacking while harassing. So it'll be interesting to see those changes. But thank you for watching, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this or whatever else, helpful, informative videos, clips from the stream, all of that stuff, as well as you can check out my stream link underneath in the description if you want to see that and you have not yet. Click follow on there to let you know when I go live. And take it easy until next time, guys. Thank you.